This morning, millions of Americans were stunned by a sudden spike in gas prices at their local stations. Overnight, the cost of a fill-up jumped by several dollars, leaving drivers across the country scrambling to adjust. The shock is more than just sticker price. It's a reminder of how quickly global events can hit our wallets. This isn't a minor fluctuation, it's a leap that's forcing families and small businesses to rethink their budgets. The cause? A major international crisis that sent shockwaves through the world's energy supply. The question now, how long will this last and how much higher could prices go? The root of this price surge is a rapidly escalating conflict in the Middle East. Attacks on oil refineries and tankers have thrown the world's most critical oil-producing region into chaos. With facilities under threat, the global oil network is suddenly disrupted. Major producers like Kuwait and Iraq have shut down operations, and panic buying has sent prices soaring. This isn't a planned cut, it's a forced shutdown, and the market is reacting with fear. Nations and corporations are scrambling to secure supplies, driving prices even higher. The fear now is that this could mark the start of a long-term energy crisis. The crisis centers on the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important oil choke point. 1/5 of global oil passes through this narrow waterway, and now, Iran has declared it closed. Tanker traffic has plummeted, with ships stranded and oil supplies trapped. Insurance costs for vessels have skyrocketed, making transport nearly impossible. Even the threat of attack is enough to halt shipping, highlighting the fragility of our energy system. The closure is a global crisis, instantly tightening oil supply everywhere. Markets are panicking as they realize how easily a single choke point can disrupt the world's energy flow. The result, prices for available oil are soaring. The pain at the pump is global. No matter where you live, filling up your tank has become noticeably more expensive. From bustling cities to rural towns, people everywhere are feeling the squeeze. But why is this happening all at once, across so many countries? Oil prices aren't determined by a single government or company. Instead, they're set on vast international markets, where millions of barrels are bought and sold every day. This means that no matter where oil is drilled or refined, its price is shaped by global forces: supply, demand, and speculation. When the world's oil supply shrinks even a little, prices can spike everywhere, from New York to Tokyo, London to Lagos. It doesn't matter if you're in a country that produces oil or one that imports it. The effects ripple out globally. As prices climb, everyday life gets more expensive, from groceries to airline tickets. Even in the United States, one of the world's largest oil producers, most oil is sold to the highest bidder on the open market. That means domestic production doesn't guarantee lower prices at home. If global demand is high or supply is threatened, American consumers still pay more. Right now, countries and companies around the world are fiercely competing for a limited number of barrels. Every shipment is up for grabs, and the highest bidder wins. This intense competition drives prices even higher, especially when supplies are tight. The idea that any country can be truly independent from global oil prices is a myth. We're all connected by a vast, intricate network of pipelines, shipping routes, and markets. When something happens in one part of the world, the impact is felt everywhere. As long as oil can be shipped anywhere, a crisis in a key region, like the Middle East, can send shockwaves through the entire market. If a major shipping route is threatened or closed, prices surge for everyone, no matter how far away they are. Right now, the world is paying more because oil has suddenly become much scarcer. Whether it's due to geopolitical tensions, natural disasters, or production cuts, the result is the same: higher prices for everyone, everywhere. And until supply catches up with demand, that pain at the pump isn't going away anytime soon. As gas prices soar across the United States, many Americans are left wondering about the role of our northern neighbor, Canada. After all, Canada is our largest energy partner, supplying more oil to the US than any other country in the world. Some might suspect that Canada is taking advantage of the crisis by charging us more for oil, but the reality is far more complex and less conspiratorial than it might seem at first glance. The truth is, Canadian oil prices have risen for the same reason as everywhere else: a global scarcity of supply. The world's oil markets are deeply interconnected, and when there's a disruption in one region, it sends shockwaves everywhere, including Canada. Even though Canada produces a surplus of oil, it's not immune to the forces that drive up prices worldwide. With major Middle Eastern supplies suddenly cut off due to geopolitical tensions and conflict, buyers from all over the globe are scrambling to secure reliable sources of oil. Canada, with its stable government and robust infrastructure, has become a top destination for these buyers. This surge in international demand is pushing up prices, not just for Americans, but for everyone who relies on Canadian oil. Today, Canadian oil is one of the most sought-after commodities on the planet. This isn't because of any political maneuvering or backroom deals, it's simply the result of market forces at work. When more people want a limited resource, the price naturally goes up. Canada is selling to the highest bidders, whether they're in the US, Europe, or Asia. To put it in perspective, imagine a farmer's market, where only one stall has fresh produce left. Suddenly, everyone flocks to that stall, and the price of those goods rises, not because the farmer is greedy, but because demand has skyrocketed and supply is limited. The same principle applies to oil in today's global market. Despite the chaos in global markets, Canada's oil supply remains remarkably stable and secure. Canadian facilities are operating efficiently, and pipelines continue to deliver oil across the border without interruption. However, the price Americans pay at the pump is determined by international competition, not just by what's happening in Canada itself. This crisis has underscored just how strategically important Canada is to the United States. Our energy partnership is a cornerstone of North American security and economic stability. Even as prices climb, the reliability of Canadian oil is a crucial asset for the U.S. One that helps cushion the blow of global disruptions. Ultimately, the increase in oil prices is about the dynamics of the global market, not political decisions made in Ottawa or Washington. Understanding this helps us see that while Canada remains a steadfast partner, it too is subject to the powerful forces shaping the world's energy landscape. U.S. refineries, especially along the Gulf Coast, are built to process heavy crude, traditionally from the Middle East or Venezuela. With those supplies cut off, Canadian heavy oil is now essential. American refineries are competing globally for this oil, pushing prices higher. The price gap between Canadian and U.S. oil has nearly vanished. Higher costs for Canadian crude ripple down the supply chain, raising prices at the pump. Our refining system depends on global heavy crude, so disruptions hit American drivers directly. The link between Canadian oil and U.S. gas prices is now clearer and more expensive than ever. When gas prices rise, the effects are felt far beyond just the cost of filling up your car. These increases ripple through the entire economy, touching nearly every aspect of daily life. It's not just your commute that gets more expensive. Higher fuel prices can impact everything from the price of groceries to the cost of running a business. Transportation costs jump for everyone. Families, delivery drivers, and small businesses all feel the pinch. When it costs more to move people and products, those extra expenses add up quickly. For families, this means less money left over for savings or fun activities. For small businesses, higher fuel bills can make it harder to stay profitable, especially for those that rely on deliveries or service calls. The impact doesn't stop there. Since nearly everything we buy, food, clothing, electronics, travels by truck, train, or ship, higher fuel costs mean higher prices at the store. Shipping companies pass on their increased expenses to retailers, who then raise prices for consumers. Even online shopping gets pricier as delivery fees climb. Small businesses, already operating on thin margins, face tough choices. They can try to absorb the higher costs, which eats into their profits, or they can raise prices, which risks losing customers. Neither option is good for the local economy, and both can lead to fewer jobs or reduced hours for workers. The squeeze is especially hard on lower and middle-income families, who spend a larger share of their income on essentials like gas and groceries. When prices rise, these families are forced to make difficult choices, cutting back on meals out, skipping family outings, or delaying important purchases. As more money goes toward gas and groceries, there's less left for everything else, like healthcare, education, or saving for the future. This reduction in spending slows economic growth as businesses see fewer customers and communities feel the strain. Economists warn that this cycle can lead to stagflation, a troubling mix of rising prices and stagnant wages. When paychecks don't keep up with the cost of living, families struggle to get ahead, and the economy can stall. The shock you feel at the pump is more than just a personal inconvenience. It's a warning sign of broader trouble ahead. Rising gas prices are a signal that the economy is under stress, and if left unchecked, they can have lasting effects on families, businesses, and entire communities. The big question: are these high prices here to stay? If the Middle East conflict eases and the Strait of Hormuz reopens, prices could fall quickly. But if turmoil continues, we could face even higher costs and a prolonged crisis. Governments may release emergency reserves, but that's only a temporary fix. Oil producers outside the Middle East are under pressure to ramp up output. For now, consumers can only try to use less, but the impact is limited. The world is watching, bracing for more volatility, and learning just how connected we all are.